She really is just here to be one of Muse's victims, isn't she? Well, I was wrong on that one, obviously. Still, it seems like faint praise to say I'm glad they didn't kill Heather off, so she can actually be fleshed out as a character, instead of just girlfriend and therapist. In fact, the whole show has some pretty glaring problems. I know I've been generally positive about it, but it's hard to ignore just how much here is undercooked. Muse, for instance, goes from a character who is wonderfully built up in the background, through visual storytelling before his first confrontation with Daredevil, to every generic serial killer trope ever. I've been really optimistic, and even happy with what the show was doing with him. Despite being physically introduced as his show-exclusive alter ego, Bastion all the way back in episode 2, where he'd come to Heather's book signing, seemingly to ask for help just for the show to subvert our expectations and have her first clients be Wilson and Vanessa. Still, I was optimistic, and then episode 7 happened. We finally got one session between him and Heather, where the show introduces this obsession with her out of nowhere, and we get a much worse, much more generic version of what season 3 did with Bullseye. Just so Heather can kill Muse. Because why not, I guess. I genuinely don't understand why he escaped last episode if we were just gonna waste any and all potential the character had anyway. And if you're going to say, well actually, overhaul and reshoots, that doesn't excuse bad execution. But really, outside of Matt, Fisk, Vanessa, and a man who died after 2 appearances, the cast has been underutilized and underserved. Even Daniel, BB, both of whom have a great moment here, and Angela, while getting much more to do, could benefit from more focus. It also seems like everyone hates Mahoney Light, aka Cherry, and rightfully so, because he just exists, and I guess we're supposed to just accept him as Matt's old cop buddy when the show hasn't done anything to earn it. And then there's the fight scene. The fucking fight scene. We had 2 great ones taking place at the same time last episode, and then we're subjected to this? What happened? Again, this being pre-overhaul isn't an excuse. If Disney cared more about quality products than money, they would have reshot this or found some way to salvage it instead of pushing out this poorly edited mess. The ending of the episode is actually quite good, but that doesn't change that they somehow fumbled Muse, whose obsession with Heather is the main focus of the episode. And they did it worse than the comics. At least they only truly failed him with the bizarre way they killed him off. Even bringing him back as a spirit possessing another artist in the current Woman Without Fear series, as I'm sure even Marvel realized how much potential he still had. This whole episode essentially takes this more grounded version of Muse, a normal human who somehow managed to kill at least 60 people before being noticed by the cops, and just threw everything that made him interesting right out the fucking window. At least Daredevil Cold Day in Hell #1 by Muse's co-creator Charles Soule and artist Steve McNiven came out a day later, so I wasn't completely bummed about Daredevil this week. Anyway, you know what to do if you like this video. Like and subscribe. And comment if you have anything to leave, but try to be as respectful as possible, especially towards others in the comments. This is Mad Silence, signing out.